thought I would just, take you for a little ride with me today. So, if you don't mind, just open the door and climb into the passenger seat. And just take a little ride through the community in which I live in today. Of course, where are we headed, you might ask? Where do you think we should go? Where do you want to go? If you're gonna hop into the passenger seat and ride with me, you'll need to, you should have some say where we go, right? All right, where are we going? So for today, if you decided to open the passenger side door and hop in and climb in with me and take the ride with me, then I guess today we're headed for the park. Yes, once again, I'm headed for the park. It's just like, usually I go out to the lake and different places and travel and hike and this and that, but my vehicle's been giving me a difficult time lately. I'm like, oh no. Says I need some wheels to, that are more dependable right now. So I've been sinking a lot of money into the vehicle that I'm driving. And I'm thinking at this point in time that I'm probably sinking enough money into to buy a new vehicle. I didn't know. No, I'm not there yet. But if I keep going and it keeps breaking down on me like it has been, then I don't know. It could add up really fast, So, it's just a little short drive through town. It's started out, it's a few blocks up above from where I live at, and it's because I was trying to find a place where do I start the camera? Where do I start the camera? Where do I start the camera? I did, I should have started the camera in the driveway where I started out. This is where I should have started the camera, but I didn't. I wasn't using my HUD. I figured it would be simple. I'd pull out and get on the road, and then I would just hit the button on the camera, and all of a sudden there was traffic and this and that, and I was like, okay, not a good idea. But of course, I wasn't doing anything with the camera. I wasn't holding it or anything like that, or violating any laws or anything like that. I went ahead and put it on a tripod. And then, I have a grab bar on the dash, so I just kind of fastened it to the grab bar on the dash on the passenger side. Since I did not have a passenger, nobody wanted to get in a ride with me. What do you think about that? I had no riders. So, I was going through town. As you can see right now, there's a stop sign there. Yeah, I thought it was just going to be a little short waiting period right here, but they were, they were kind of directing traffic, but all of a sudden, I wasn't getting a go sign. But it just said slow. There is no go. It just says stop and slow. That's all there is. When he turns the sign around, it will say slow. But, I didn't get to go because, not too far down, right below where they're working, right here on this section, they had a wreck. It just seems like there was one wreck after the next. Traffic was so jammed up. It's just that time of day where traffic was jammed, and I think some people were in a hurry and weren't paying attention to what they were doing. So it was like, at this part right here, I got tired of watching it, so I curved down to the parking lot and this and that. I made a circle rounds until I could see the wreck. Some guy literally walked up and he told me there was a wreck down below, and then another woman, she screamed out the window as she came through, "There's a wreck!" I said, "There's a wreck." No, I was making this drive. I'll go down here, and I went, well, yeah, no. And, all the stops, I was getting low on gas. I was like, I need some fuel. So, I decided, well, I need to go get some gas. So, I headed for the gas station. Where was I going to go get the gas? And it's the same time, I was getting kind of hungry. I was like, I need something to eat. But, I wanted to get to the park, I want to spend some time in the park before it started getting towards the dark time, evening hours, late evening hours, and this and that, where you don't have enough light to shoot stuff like this. I was, pressed for time. I was so pressed for time, so I was like, well, what am I going to do? Are you guys hungry? You want something to eat? I mean, we can stop and get something to eat if you want to. I'm joking. And at that point in time, you're probably thinking, what do I want to eat? I don't know. So, yeah, some people may, I don't know. But you know, it's like at that point, you know, this point right here, I just decided. I was like, my mind just popped in my mind. Said, go get some gas before you run out. But you know, I looked down and I still had like a quarter of a tank. So I had a quarter of a tank, or a little bit over a quarter of a tank. You know, but I don't like to let it get below a half a tank. I like to keep it, you know, above a half a tank. So I decided to drive around by the Walmart store and go to the Murphy gas pumps and in the Walmart parking lot and just fill it up, you know, so I wouldn't have to make this drive back up to this area, you know, going when it would time for me to head home. I didn't want to do that, you know, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna go in and get some gasoline. When I got there, I was like, oh my God. Gasoline is $3.29 a gallon. We haven't seen those kind of gas prices since George W. Bush, have we? I think that's the last time I remember. I was traveling through Connecticut one year and the gasoline was $3.39. I remember going, oh my God, are you serious? $3.39 for a gallon of gasoline? Don't those guys make enough money as it is? What is the heck is wrong with these gas companies, you know? I think it's time to go electric. I'm ready for an electric vehicle. I'd rather put the money into an electric vehicle than put it into the gas tank, because you know I have spent so much money on gasoline over the years. I could have bought probably I could have probably bought a car lot. I have spent enough money on gasoline over the years that I could have bought a car lot and sold cars for a living. You know, it doesn't, you know, I have no idea. Do you know how much money you have spent on gasoline? You know, since you've been driving, since you were a teenager driving, how much money have you spent since you've gotten your driver's license to drive? How much money you think you've spent? Put it in the comment box and let me know. Let's see how much money people think they have spent. And imagine how many vehicles you could have bought with that money. You could have bought an electric car. You don't have to buy gas anymore. You see, you could use that money much wiser. You could spend it on things that are more useful in life and stuff like that, you know. But you know, it's like, I see those things pop into my head. I think about those things, you know. It's like all the money I spent on gasoline, and they want more money, more money. That's like I said, you know, I was driving down, here goes another one. I couldn't tell if it was coming or not, but I heard sirens behind me, but they would fade in, fade out, and I was like, where are they coming from? It's like they can't be in that big of a rush to go get some gasoline with the prices. That's not where they're going. You know, so at this point in time, of course, you know, I'm getting really close to the park, so I just got this turn here, and then another turn, and I'll be at the park. And then, you know, once I go to the park, I'll figure out what I'm going to do when I get there. So whenever I go to the park, I never really know exactly what I'm going to do when I get to the park. But, you know, I ride to the park, and then they've got this, like, they're working on this section here. And I was like, I don't really know what they're doing. I mean, they kind of put it, it's almost like you're going to turn it into a parking lot or something like that. I don't know. And they've kind of raised the water level back up, and you know, sometimes people will fish in this little place right here. It's deep enough to hold bass and things like that. You know, not really big bass, but small bass and stuff like that. But it's a good place to catch bait. It's a good place to go and catch some bait. You know, so you can go to the bigger waters, like the lakes and stuff like that, and fish with, you know, what comes out of here. So you can use what you catch here, you know, for bait and stuff like that. But you know, I was just driving down the side of the creek, and I was like, what am I going to do today? What is it I would like to do today? You know, I had no clue what I was going to do today. And so I'm driving across this rough area right here, and I'm like, I'm thinking, and I was like, what can I do? What do I want to do? I'm here at the park now. This is just the beginning of the park. I'm like, what do I want to do? I can't, that just kept going over my head. I kept looking around. And I was like, what can I do today? What am I going to do at the park? So I had various different things in my vehicle with me that I could do, but I totally did not do any of those things. I totally went with something different that I had not done, I don't think, to date. I was like, something new, something different. Awesome.